Hello. I'm actually going to be starting off my morning with a little bit of selfish sewing, shall we? Okay, so I am going to be getting started with a McCall's pattern M8502. I'm only going to be stitching up the skirt. So let's dive into a little bit of selfish sewing. So I've already pre-cut the fabric and the pattern. This pattern doesn't seem too intense because you have 3 parts. You have the back piece, which is down here at the bottom, and then you have 2 pieces for the top front, and then a little bit of ruching along the top waist, and then you put in a waistband. So I'm going to attempt to knock this out within one sitting and at the top of my morning. So let's go ahead and dive into this look. So I will admit, at first glance, the one thing that I like about this pattern is how big and bold and easy to follow these steps appear to be. It comes with a total of 5 steps in order to complete this skirt, so I like that. And oh no, it's not 5 steps, sorry. It's a total of 8 steps. But it's only 1 page of instructions. Total of 8 steps to complete this, so I think this might be a fairly simple make. So here are all of my pattern pieces. I have piece 13, which is left front C, and I've already marked my notches and my darts. And this is the fabric that I am using, which is a knit metallic crochet knit fabric, which I picked up from Joann. So this is pattern piece C. So this is pattern piece 13, left front C. The next piece I have is back of C, which is cut on the center fold. This is piece 14. And then this is the elastic, which is piece 15, and I've already marked off where the center front is, as well as the center back. So I've already marked the center back as well as the center front. Last piece. And then this is right front C. This is piece 12. Again, I've already marked my notches and dots, and this is actually the first piece that you are going to begin with. So the first thing I'm going to do is take piece 12 and I'm going to do a straight stitch along the side of the waist and then pull the thread so that way I can gather and ruche the skirt. So this is the skirt. This is my notched edge, and then this is the first dot at the top, and this is the second dot at the bottom. And I'm just going to go ahead and do straight stitches from the dot to the dot using the longest length thread, 2 straight lines using the longest length thread. So I'm just making sure that I turn my dial to the longest width as well as length, as well as adjusting to the straight stitch on my machine. This is the first one. Now I'm going to do a one directly next to it. So now I have both lines, and you can see it's already starting to ruche. So now I'm just going to take the threads and just lightly pull them and gather and ruche them. Now I'm going to gather from the top and then lightly ruche. Now you have a little bit of a gather in the ruching detail. Now that this is gathered, I'm going to sew a 5/8 of a hem from that bottom dot all the way down to about a 1/4 inch away from the very bottom. So let's go ahead and make a hem. So now that I have this all pinned, I'm going to go ahead and pop in that hem. Now I'm going to move on to step number 2, which is adding a narrow hem on piece 13. Okay, so now I have both of the hems on the front pieces, and now it says pin wrong side of the right front to the right side of left front, base right and upper edge together, and pin right front to left front at the left side edge, matching small dots and notches, pulling up gathering stitches to fit base. So basically I'm just going to base stitch the two front pieces together. Now I'm just taking the right sides of the fabric and facing them upward, and I'm placing piece 13 underneath piece 12. So basically the ruched part of the skirt should be on the front of pattern piece 12. And then once I have that all pinned, then I'm just going to take a base stitch and I'm going to base around here, along the top, and then along the side edge. So again, I have both of my fabric facing forward with the right sides of the fabric facing towards me, and I just laid pattern piece or fabric piece 13 underneath dress piece or skirt piece 12, and then I'm just going around the edge and I'm base stitching. So I've just gone ahead and placed my skirt upside down inside of my sewing machine. So what I mean by upside down is I've placed the raw edge towards me and I'm starting on the ruched edge side, and I'm just going to base stitch going towards me, and then I'm going to go across the top edge, and then I'm going to end on the opposite side where there's no ruching, just so that way I don't have to have all the fabric just kind of in my space, and this just will make it easy for me to stitch. Okay, so now I'm moving on to step number 4, and I'm basically going to sandwich the front and back pieces together with the right sides facing each other. So basically, now that the front two pieces are basted together, now I'm just going to lay the back piece right on top of the front and stitch down the sides of the skirt. now this is where I take the front piece and making sure that the right sides are facing toward each other, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay the back piece right on top and go ahead and align these pieces. Okay, once you have the sides stitched down, now might be a good time to go ahead and try on your skirt to make sure it is fitting you correctly. I actually should have sewn up a size 4 instead of a size 6, so I ended up taking in the sides of the skirt a little bit along the waist, about 1.5 inches, so that way it fits me a little bit better. And then now I'm going to go across the bottom edge and just go ahead and stitch up a narrow hem all the way down until I get to that front edge, and then I'm going to fold this inward and then continue to finish up that hem on the front edge of the skirt. So now that I have this all pinned off, I'm going to go ahead and stitch up a narrow hem along the bottom of the skirt. So now we are at the home stretch. We are on step 6, which is the elastic piece, and basically it is informing you to cut out the elastic using the elastic guide and then go ahead and overlap the pieces where you made your markings and then stitch a small little square. So I already have my elastic cut out, and I have made my markings for the center front there, and I've also made my markings for the center back. Now I'm just going to go ahead and unpin it. Hold that out the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the front edge and just overlap it just a little. I still want to see the marking. Now I'm going to go ahead and clip this and then go ahead and stitch up a square. I decided to go ahead and hand stitch the square of the elastic because my sewing machine be acting crazy, so I just wanted to speed up this process. Just go ahead and hand stitch. So I'm just opting into doing a good old-fashioned hand stitch to sew in the square portion of the elastic. I think that my needle might be dull on my sewing machine because my machine was having a hard time going through this elastic. So I decided to just quickly stitch up a square using a simple needle and thread method. Now on the outside of my skirt with the right side of the fabric, I'm just taking the markings of the center front and matching with the center front. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's faintly marked, the blue chalk there. On the outside of the skirt, I'm just going to go ahead and line that up. I'm going to clip it here in the front, and then I am going to make sure that this elastic is along the side as well. Make sure it's along front side seam. And then I am going to make sure that I also have it in the correct spot and aligned in the back. So there's the chalk marking there, and there is center back there. I'm just gonna go ahead and clip it. Okay, so now I have the elastic all clipped. I have the front side of the fabric matched up with the center front of the elastic. I have both of those markings aligned, and then I have the side pieces clipped as well as the back. So now I'm going to go ahead and stitch this up. Okay, once you have the upper edge of the elastic stitched around the entire top edge, then you're just going to take it and flip everything on the inside. Isn't the best. Go ahead and flip it in, and then you can tack it along the edges. But I'm going to go ahead and flip mine in twice because I just don't like the way that finishes it. The instructions inform you to just flip it on the inside and then tack it down on the edges, but I don't really know if I like the inside of the elastic showing. So I'm going to play around with it and finish it up.